Hello and welcome to the session on industrial engineering. The topic is human resource development. So, what is human resource development? So, basically, it is a process of developing skills, competencies, knowledge, and the attitudes of the people in an organization. Okay. Then, what are the different functions of HRD? So, the functions include manpower planning, that is the first one, then the recruitment and selection, then training and development, then performance appraisal, then determination of wages and salaries, then employee health and welfare and the relations. So in this session we'll be covering the four different functions of the HRD, that is the manpower planning, recruitment and selection, training and development, and the performance appraisal. So first function is the manpower planning. So in the manpower planning, so basically it is a process of determining the requirements of right number and right kind of human force at right place and at right time. So this is the process for the manpower planning. So initially it starts with the goals and the objectives, then plans of the organization. Then under the manpower planning, so under the manpower planning, so you will be having the two things. First one is the forecasting of manpower requirement, another is the preparation of manpower inventory. So that means for the manpower, for to get the manpower, what are the things being required, so that is what the inventory and forecasting of the manpower requirement. Okay, after getting these two things, after getting these two things, so we are supposed to identify the manpower gap. After identification of the manpower gap, so it may be say excess manpower, it may be a shortage of manpower. So you have to take the actions for bridging the particular gap. So that is what we can say. After that we can take particular manpower. So it starts with the goals objective and ends with the taken off. That means the manpower can be adopted in a company or a industry and so on. Okay, then manpower planning. So let us say this is the example for the manpower planning. So case of Infosys, the well-renowned company. Okay, so manpower planning of Infosys, say strategic planning, then employee search, screening through interview, then evaluation about the person. So that is what the manpower planning of Infosys. So this is the first round, then this is the second round. Okay, and after going to the first and the second round, so they will make a job offer. So in between that you have to get interact with the your recruiter, your manager, or the team leader. Okay, so in the Infosys, so we are looking at several things such as interest, then career expectation, professional background, language, then also discuss working environment, atmosphere, benefits, and the responsibilities. Okay, so in the second round they assess the domain knowledge and your fitness for the current team. Okay, after going through this they will make a job offer. Then recruitment and the selection, again the same thing what we have discussed in the manpower planning. So in the manpower planning, only thing is uh, so in the recruitment and the selection, so we can say any practice or activity carried out by the organization for attempting potential employees. Okay, so for taking out the employees, so practice or the activity carried by the organization. Okay, so for this selection and the recruitment, a distinct procedure the company may follow. So that procedure may be like this: recruitment procedure, let us say, it starts with the generation of requirement of the vacancy, application of candidates, then scrutiny of application, call for recruitment, initial interviews, employment test, then final interviews, then checking of references, then medical or the physical test if any. Then after that they will get recruited or they will get selected, and then they get inducted in the company. Inducted means a kind of training, induction means a kind of training. Okay, so this is what the distinct procedure for the recruitment and the selection. Then after selection and the recruitment, so whenever any employee join the company, they need to get trained and they need to get developed. After some period they need to get development. Okay, so for that case, so it is the refining process done with the selected candidates to make them perfect and adaptable according to the changing environment of the company. Okay, there may be the technological change, there may be different procedures being changed, so for that case they have to be refined. Okay, so some training programs can be done by the company. So the training programs may be induction or the orientation. Normally it is being used for the new employee, so to give them the overview of the company or the industry. Then the job training, so let us say for example, it may be handling machines and equipment. So if the worker don't know how to handle the machine, there may be the chances of accident. So to avoid that things, so they have to be get trained. Then promotional training, so let us say some workers are good in some in particular work, or they have skill, so then they need to get promoted. So for the promotion, for the new position, they need to be get trained for that particular promoted activity. So the promotional training is being given for the good workers. Then refresher training, so this being ongoing activity to update the knowledge, skills and the technology. Let us say the workers are doing the things from long time, so for refreshment, they need for refreshment of the knowledge, so about the technology, so they need to get trained. Then apprenticeship kind of training, so in the apprenticeship kind of training, there may be a classroom sessions, or there may be a field kind of sessions, or we can say on the job kind of training. So the company takes into different apprentices, so they have given some work, and they being trained, and then it is being absorbed. So after being apprentice, after going through the apprenticeship kind of training, the whatever the employee they need, they can be absorbed in the company. Then the internship kind of training, so normally it is being given for the student, those are on vacation, to get their to get to know through the different kinds of work or different kinds of skills. Then in a in a uh, in the human resource development, the concept of KRA, that is the key result area, it is being very useful for getting out the appraisal, or for getting out the performance of the individual and for the and for the persons. Okay, so key means a crucial or the main thing. Then result means it should have the outcome, it should have the end, it should have the consequence. Then the area, then it may be a space or it may be a range. So KRA, it is the area identified as important or crucial, where a result will assist in the achievement of the set objectives or goal. Okay, KRA is clear, specific and the measurable. For getting the KRA, individuals has to prioritize their activities and improve the time and the work management. Okay, then for example, say the role for the product manager, so his KRA should be, or we can say his goal should be ensuring delivery of quality product within the schedule. So so this is the crucial one. It should be the outcome, it should be the area. So for the product manager, so within the schedule, quality product and the delivery, so these are the different key result area for the product manager. Okay, then comes the performance appraisal. So it may be self, it may be superior, it may be from the peer, it may be from the 360 degree kind of 360, it should be 360 degree. Say it is a method by which the job performance of an employee is documented and evaluated. So it is a performance appraisal process. So every company is doing this kind of things for evaluating the performance of their employee. So basic objectives is this one. So first, it will give the feedback on the performance to employees. It will identify the employee training, whether the employee needs training. Then it will give the document criteria used to allocate the organizational rewards. Okay, it forms the basis for the personal decision to increase the salary, to give the promotion, or to take the disciplinary action. Okay, it also provides an opportunity for organizational for getting out the diagnosis and the development. Okay, then it also facilitates the communication between the employee and the administration. So these are what the objectives for the performance appraisal. Then this is the distinct process for the performance appraisal. So initially establish the performance standard, then communicating establish performance standard to employees, then measuring actual performance of the employee by certain methods, then comparing actual performance with the standard performance. In between that, identify the gap, okay, and the reward for the best, and take the corrective actions for the poor performance. So in the for measuring the actual performance, so these are the traditional methods and these are the modern methods. So in the traditional methods there may be the number of methods, from ranking method, paired, grading, force distribution, then force choice method, checklist method, critical incident, graphic scale, essay method, field review, confidential report. Okay, uh, then in the modern methods we'll be having the management by objective, then behavior, anchor anchor rating scale, then assessment center, then 360-degree appraisal. So that being covered over here. That in then the next one is the cost accounting method. Okay, then then in the performance appraisal, so it may be the self assessment. Every individual has to assess their performance. So individuals assess and evaluate their own behavior and the job performance. So it will give the employee absolute freedom to look at strength and find out the areas of development, along with the opportunity to assess the performance. So that are the self assessment. So then the next one is the peer assessment. So some group member of the employee, same with the same rank, or it may be a different rank, different profession, or the setting. Okay, so they will evaluate the job performance against the accepted standard. So some, let us say, some person good in that particular work, and in the similar kind of rank or the similar kind of their colleague, so they can access the performance of his colleague and give the suggestion to the top management about his assessment. So but the basic question in the peer assessment is, so these are the three basic things in the peer assessment. So initially you have to nominate the peer, then rate the peer, then rank the peer. So nomination is the most important one. That means as to which kind of employee should be taken to get the assessment of the fellow person. Okay, so nomination, then rating for the peer, then ranking for the peer. Okay, now these are what the sample forms, sample template for the KRA based performance appraisal, that is K result area for the base performance appraisal. So in this case, this is the sample one. So these are the KRA. So increase sales and the market share, then compliance of laid down policies and the procedures of the company. Then these are the indicators. On the indicators, what the measures can be taken, what are the target, what are their achievements, then weightage, then self rating has to be given by the employee. Then after self rating, superior rating can be given by the appraisers, then weighted score, average score, and the comments. Okay, so by this way we can have the KRA based performance appraisal. So in this case, these are some of the indicators. So it is the, let us say, first section. So it is target score. So another thing is, let us say, section 2. So it is the critical behavior attributes. So in this case the attributes are being taken, say communication skill, time management, relationship, okay, then client orientation, then result orientation, teamwork, leadership, and the business accumulation. Okay, so the self rating, appraisal rating, and the comments are being given, and this is being used for the for assistant manager and the above. Okay, so this is what the thing, performance appraisal form. So it consists of self appraisal, it consists of so peer, or it may consist of superior kind of appraisal. Then in the 360-degree performance appraisal, this is the 360-degree performance appraisal. So an appraisal made by the top management, immediate superiors, peers, subordinates, self, and the customers. Okay. Then this method is very reliable because evaluation is done by many different parties, also called as multi-rated feedback. Okay. This method is mostly used to evaluate the performance of the employees. However, it is also used to evaluate other qualities such as talents, behavior, values, ethical standards, tempers, loyalty, etc. So basically, in the 360-degree performance appraisal, so the performance appraisal is being made by the different parties. Okay, so let us say, also the 360-degree appraisal was developed by the General Electric Company in the USA in 1992. Okay, so that was the six parties in the 360-degree appraisal. So top management, immediate superior, peers, subordinates, self, and the customer. So by this way it may be a 360-degree appraisal. Okay, now what are the benefits of the 360-degree feedback? So benefits can be done in different ways. So it helps the individual employees, individual employees, how it can help. So to understand how others perceive them, to identify developmental need, then to facilitate feedback, which is essential for learning, to manage their own performance and careers. Okay, so this is the first way. Another way is this one, that is the multi-rater evaluation technique help the team. So for the individual employee, for the team, so it increase the communication between the team member, to support the teamwork by involving team members in the development process. Then in the third case it may be for the organization. So initially in employee, then team, by the then for the organization, then for the organization to facilitate better career development for the employee, then to improve the customer service by having customer contribute to evaluation. Then the third thing is to direct training of employee and risk capability of the organization. So in each of the section, the 360-degree feedback, the benefits can be taken out. Okay. So these are the references. So thank you. If you like this video, then like it. Also subscribe my channel by pressing the bell icon button, and never miss the updates.